Hello everyone. This webinar is going to be all about penetration testing. But before we begin, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Akash, a cybersecurity enthusiast, penetration tester, and a CTF player. You can find me on various social media platforms. So today we're gonna see what is penetration testing, what's the need of it, why we need it, who requires pen testing. Here you can see that I have written pen testing instead of penetration testing. So don't get confused between penetration testing and pen testing. Both are same. And we also gonna cover the various types of penetration testing, phases of penetration testing, how many phases are there, what are those phases. After that we will discuss about report writing. It's an important phase, okay? And at last I'll try to give you a proper roadmap to become a penetration tester. So let's begin with the first point. What is penetration testing? By the name, you may get an idea that we're gonna talk about testing something, right? And if you're thinking so, then you got it right. It is a test evaluating the strengths of all security controls on the computer system. It evaluates procedural, operational, as well as technological controls. Or in other words, it is a method for gaining assurance in the security of an IT system by attempting to breach some or all of that system security using some tools in a legal way. If we elaborate what I have said earlier, then it is a form of ethical hacking. It describes the intentional launching of simulated cyber attacks by white hat hackers, penetration tester. White hat hackers are also called penetration testers, using strategies and tools designed to access or exploit computer systems, networks, websites, and applications. The main objective of pen testing is to identify vulnerabilities and exploit them using tools or writing their exploits on our own. But for writing exploits on our own, we need a good programming language like shell scripting, Python programming, etc. The pen testing attempts to pierce the armor of an organization's cyber defense, checking for exploitable vulnerabilities in networks, as I have said. Now, after knowing what is pen testing, you might be thinking of what's the need of pen testing. So, any company concerned about protecting sensitive data needs penetration tester. So, who needs pen testing? Okay, so you might be thinking that what type of companies need penetration testing? So banks, financial institutions, government organizations, online vendors, or any organizations proceed storing private information. They need penetration testers to do penetration testings for their websites and applications. So PCI DSS, it stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. So its section 11.3 requires organization to perform application and presentation tests at least once a year. Okay. Now HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It is a federal law that required the creation of national standards to protect sensitive patient health information from being disclosed without patient's consent of knowledge, right? And it's section 8 of the administrative safeguards require security process audits, periodic vulnerabilities analysis, and penetration testing. Let's look into the various types of penetration testing. So mainly there are three types of penetration testing: white box penetration testing, gray box penetration testing, and black box penetration testing. So in I'm sorry, white box penetration testing, it is the most expensive and most accurate of the three. You might be thinking that why it's called white box, right? Because the tester is given extensive knowledge or information about the target before testing. This type has the administrator root level access. Now, black box testing is a less expensive option. The testing analyst receives no background information. While testing in a black box environment, you may get a real hacker's feeling, like how the hackers exploit a system, how they think. The black box penetration tester thinks like a hacker. And now gray box penetration testing. So it is a mixture of black box and white box because very few amount of information is given to the tester to test the target, and it's cost between of them. So mainly there are five phases of penetration testing: reconnaissance, scanning, gaining system access, persistent access, or you can say maintaining access, and last, analysis and reporting. That's what I have said earlier, that report writing. It's the same. So reconnaissance, this is the first phase. In this phase, the tester gathers as much information as possible to get understanding, to better understand how a target works and its potential vulnerabilities. Scanning. Scanning is the next phase. Then this is done to understand how the target will respond to various intrusion attempts. Nmap is one of the fine tool to scan targets, to know the ports open and what are the services they offer. And the third phase is gaining access. This is the phase where actual hacking begins. During this phase, you try to attack the target to uncover the vulnerabilities it has, and after finding any vulnerability, the tester tries to exploit it, typically by escalating privileges, stealing data, intercepting traffic, etc., to understand the damage it can cause. And the fourth step is maintaining access. The goal of this phase is to see if the vulnerability can be used to achieve a persistent presence in the exploited system to gain in-depth access. And finally, analysis and reporting. The results of the penetration test are then compiled into a report detailing specific vulnerabilities that were exploited, sensitive data that were accessed, the amount of time the pen tester was able to remain in the system undetected, and report writing. Penetration tester creates reports outlining the steps taken during the entire penetration test. This will cover everything about penetration testing, the test that a pen tester did, the tools he used to find the vulnerability, what type of vulnerability he found, what is the what is the methodology to recreate the vulnerability, like, and etc. This is the report writing where you have to write everything in detail to make the client understand better. Now I'm gonna show you a roadmap to become a penetration tester. So first of all, things won't be easy always. You have to think out of the box. Be suspicious, look everything carefully. Okay, and here you can see I have made a roadmap, and the first step is to understand the fundamentals of networking. You have to know what is networking, how the networking works, how computers communicate with each other, what different types of protocols, TCP, IP, the OSI model, and a lot to know. And fundamentals of networking is very important in ethical hacking or penetration testing, and in the field of cybersecurity also, because everything is related to networking. Okay, and the next step is to understand how web application works. How web application works means how the protocols work, how the HTTP and HTTPS, the difference between HTTP and HTTPS, and how packets travel. Okay, so and what are the various types of vulnerabilities are there in web applications. And then comes coding and scripting language. To understand the code of a website, you have to know the coding. Okay, like CSS, JavaScript, HTML. Mostly JavaScript is important, because sorry you have to see the code and understand that is there any XSS vulnerability or not, DOM XSS vulnerability or not, or anything which is the input is handling correctly or not. So you have to understand the coding also. And scripting is required just because you have to make exploits, or you have to automate things. Okay, so that's why. And and then comes the types of vulnerabilities and how to exploit them. You can learn it from Portswigger also, and OWASP top 10, to know what type of web application vulnerabilities are there and how to exploit them. And after that, practice everything. After learning everything, and practice them on various platforms like Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, Offensive Security, Vulnerhub. Hack the Box and Try Hack Me gives machines and challenges where you can practice everything. And Offensive Security and Vulnerhub only provides you with machines, so you can check every platform. There is a platform called Portswigger also, which is very good. You have to you have to be familiar with tools like Burpsuit, Wireshark, and Map. You have to learn all these tools also. At first, you don't know how to make the how to make the exploits. So you need help of these tools like Metasploit also, MSF Venom. Okay, and after practicing and gaining a confidence, you can give tests like EJPT, CompTIA Security Plus, CEH, OSCP, and there are a lot of certificates are there where you can get certified. So it is not compulsory to follow my roadmap. You can also search it on the internet, and yeah, always be curious and try to stay updated. So that's all for today. I hope you liked it, and if I made any mistake, then I apologize. So, and I know that there are some background noises are also coming, so please avoid them, and I'm really sorry for that. Thank you.